Jayaguru Sankipta Stotra Bandhana. Om Brahmanandam Parama Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dundatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Bimalam Machalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tang Namah. Jayaguru, welcome everyone to this summer vacation Bliss. We are continuing with this Nigam Swadhyay group. Today we have got Namrata Das from Hyderabad Saraswat Sangha to recap this session of yesterday. Namrata Das is a regular member of our Nigam Swadhyay group. She is joining regularly. She is attending the questions and answer sessions regularly. She is asking also questions during the Swadhyay regularly. So we found her very much attentive to this session. So may Thakurjee bless Namrata Das. Without wasting any further time, I am requesting Namrata Das Ma from Hyderabad Saraswat Sangha to kindly recap the session of yesterday.
Jayaguru, am I audible?
Jayaguru, yes you are. Over to you.
Jayaguru. Previously, understanding the timeless truth that pure love for Thakura is enough to attain everything, several illuminating anecdotes from the life of Swami Nigamananda were shared. One evening, Jagneshwar Vishwas expressed to Sachidananda his wish to embrace Vanaprastha, the retired stage of life prescribed by the Varna Ashram system. Sachidananda, honoring spiritual hierarchy, gently advised him to consult his guru, Swami Nigamananda. True to this guidance, years later, Jagneshwar and his wife received their guru's blessing and headed to Kashi to lead a monastic life. Later, Sachidananda shared with Nigamananda his desire to undertake a solo pilgrimage. Nigamananda, unaware this would be their final meeting, took blessings from Sachidananda tearfully. 6 months later, Sachidananda left his body peacefully, having completed his earthly pain. Jagneshwar, meanwhile, often engaged his guru in deep discussions, seeking clarity on complex religious ideas. Nigamananda's explanations were simple and profound. Having immersed himself in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jagneshwar joyfully explored the subject of devotion. Saraju Devi, seeing her guru as none other than Parabrahma, served him with unwavering love. For Vishwas couple, it was their happiest days. A letter from Cotton Press soon arrived requesting the final manuscript of Yogi Guru. Swami Nigamananda travelled via Kolkata to complete the publishing process. Through the distributor, Gurudas Chattopadhyay and Sons respected Nigamananda's earlier works like Sudhansuvara, Tarani Sena Badha and Charubara. They doubted whether Yogi Guru could match the popularity of fiction. Nonetheless, Nigamananda left a few copies, sent the rest with Umacharan to Maiman Singh, and continued to Raj Kacheri and Beniachar. News of his arrival spread. Villagers, including Nityananda Modak and his wife, gathered to welcome him. Some embraced him, others bowed in reverence. But due to pressure from the Tehsildar, the crowd had to disperse, smiling through tears of separation. When Umacharan saw Swami Nigamananda, he sensed something important had taken place but didn't know what. Upon asking, Nigamananda revealed that he had received the Paramahansa title during the Kumbh Mela. They were thrilled to hear this. During a severe drought in the monsoon season, villagers around Beniachar learned that a great yogi was staying with Umacharan. They invited Nigamananda to their village. Swami Nigamananda agreed and was warmly welcomed by a large crowd. When seated, a village leader requested him to end the drought and save many families from hunger. Nigamananda encouraged everyone to pray sincerely and said he would join them in prayer. Then he spoke about religion and spirituality. As he was about to leave, a dark cloud suddenly appeared and rain began to pour. The villagers rejoiced, dancing in rain. This miraculous event spread quickly from village to village, drawing many visitors, some to pay respect, others curious to see the young sannyasi. Meanwhile, Yogi Guru became a nationwide success, flooding Nigamananda with thousands of letters. Umacharan and Hemalata tirelessly managed correspondence and tracked sales. On his way to Garrow Hill, Nigamananda stopped at Jhagadachar. The villagers, upon hearing about Umacharan Sarkar's initiation, welcomed Guru. Many sought spiritual initiation. Nigamananda began initiating hundreds. Poor villagers, unable to offer money, brought fruits, rice and vegetables. When Nigamananda worried about the lack of monetary donations, Nityananda worried about lack of monetary donations, Nigamananda smiled and said, "Sadhus need love, not money, and love flows freely here." A grand Sankirtan was also organized in his honor. As the chants rose, Nigamananda slipped into Samadhi. Devotees formed a protective circle, fearing harm as once happened in Palasdanga. This devotion showed that true love requires no money or knowledge, only a burning desire to serve and protect their beloved Guru. Jayaguru.
Jayaguru, thank you Namrata Das for very nicely described the yesterday's session. Very honest with all of you, yesterday's session was very important of Thakurjee's life. Please imagine now social media is there, whatever anybody is doing, they can circulate on their own or it can be circulated, it's getting circulated. But at that point in time, whatever Thakurjee did, maybe that rain incident or that Nityananda Modak wipes incident, it spread like anything, and Thakurjee have started getting thousands of letters after publication of Yogi Guru regarding the process of yoga, doubts, clarifications, how to know yoga, all these things. So this is the kind of discussion we had yesterday. So a good round of applause for Namrata Das of Hyderabad Saraswat Sangha, and God bless you, Namrata Das. Now, without wasting any further time, I am requesting Priyambada Ma and Devasish Mahanti Bhai to flash the results of yesterday.
Jayaguru Bhai Anna. So yesterday we had received 45 responses, out of which 24 they got full score, and we got Shivani Dasma, Priyanshi Mohantima and Jaganmai Dasma in the senior group, the quickest response and full mark. And in junior group we got Tirsa Ma from Burla, Priyanshi Mahapatra Ma Karnataka and Riddhi Mahapatra Ma from Karnataka Sangha. They also got full mark and in the shortest time. So congratulations to you all.
Thank you. Congratulations to all of you who have attended to answer the questions also. Frankly speaking, whoever are getting the fastest response, they are the regular attendees of this Nigam Swadhyay group, and they keep asking questions also, clarifying their doubts also. That is what made them to answer the questions very quickly. So God bless all of you. May Thakurjee shower his flowery blessings upon all of you.
So now within 10 minutes we get every answer. So there are like seconds fraction. So in the seconds we are declaring the results. So everyone they are doing good.
Wow. So if there is any possibility of going to micro or some seconds, then please try, ma.
Yeah, Google is giving that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our Google Bhai is very active in all these things. So thanks Google Bhai also. we are really thankful to Mr. Google to help all of us in organizing this kind of event. So I'm a Delhi Gyana Bhai Jayaguru Gyana Bhai is a DOS. So you know Namrata Das, who was recapping, she was in Hyderabad. You are at Bhubaneswar, maybe Priyambadama. So this is where Google Bhai is helping all of us to ensure we all are together. Anyway, so the next thing is we have got Sevak Shubhankar Nayak Bhai from Delhi Saraswat Sangh. He is eager to start reading this today's session. So over to you, Shubhankar Bhai. Please start reading.
Jayaguru Bhai.
Jayaguru Bhai.
So starting, Umacharan arrived there with information that he has brought Yogi Guru books from the press. Swami Nigamananda told him to keep the books at his house for further distribution and asked him to give few books to Isan Sen, who was in charge of the advertisement. He was directed to print handbills, leaflets, and distribute those among people to make them aware regarding the contents of the book. After the arrangement was done, he left the Garo Hill. Madan and Sitaram received him in their traditional manner. A celebration was held to welcome him. While he was there, a letter came from Gurudas Chattopadhyay asking for more books. His fear proved to be baseless as the book started selling like hotcake. Those who, after reading the book, wanted to learn yoga were brought there by Isan Sil. Garo Hill throbbed with activity. Madan, Sitaram, and others became very busy. Few days after leaving Garo Hill, Swami Nigamananda told Madan and Sitaram that they will be initiated next morning. In their case, they never asked to be initiated. It was Swami Nigamananda who wanted that they should be initiated. In case of true disciple, nothing is to be asked as Guru knows what the disciple needs and when it is to be fulfilled. Few days after the initiation, Madan's consciousness was elevated to a higher level and the illiterate forest dweller started singing Kali Parkurusutra in Sanskrit. The villagers could not understand Sanskrit and thought he has been overpowered by some spirit, might be ghost. They became very worried and ran to Swami Nigamananda. He smiled and touched Madan with his fingertip. The eruption of knowledge stopped instantly. People coming to Garo Hill requested Swami Nigamananda to establish a permanent yoga center somewhere in the plain as Garo Hill Yoga Ashram. Situated in the mountain, it's not accessible. Swami Nigamananda assured them that he will consider their proposal when the time comes. After some days, he decided to return to the plain land. Umacharan was asked to arrange for a stay in his house. At Umacharan's house, a big gathering of people from surrounding village and far off places went on daily. In the morning, the personal interviews were arranged after prefixed initiation ceremonies. In the evening, religious discourses were presented, and after that, Harinam Sankirtan, people saw the handsome young sannyasi sitting calmly delivering speech about religious subjects. He seemed to Shiva himself, the condensed form of knowledge and yoga. But they observed the same person becoming a child at the time of Harinam Sankirtan. He danced, cried, embraced people irrespective of caste and social status. Many could not understand his behavior except few who knew him and had supreme respect for him. Hemlata was given the responsibility to sort out hundreds of letters arriving daily. Sometimes she had to go through the contents of the letters to find out the urgency of their nature. Many letters having no urgency are to be replied by either Umacharan or Isan Sil, and the urgent letters submitted to Swami Nigamananda for his personal reply. Within this period, Hemlata found letters coming from Assam, written by Jagneshwari and Saraju Devi. She had heard about them and about their selfless service from Swami Nigamananda himself. Now, from their letters or rather more specifically came from the letters written by Saraju Devi. She developed an idea about the emotional relationship with him. At first, she was confused about her own feeling towards him. But now, going through the letters of Saraju Devi, she became sure about the quantum of love they are stored for him in their hearts. Sometimes, while Swami Nigamananda took his food, sitting near him, she would ask about Saraju Devi and Jagneshwar Vishwas, and each time she asked, Swami Nigamananda would praise them for the selfless service and the love for him. Hemalata became much impressed and inspired reading Saraju Devi's letters. In their last letter, they had requested him to come to their house as they would be leaving Assam permanently. They needed his presence there to plan their future. Swami Nigamananda agreed, and they had sent the travel expenses through money order. Hemalata was confused as he had returned the money order from Chandrakatan Sen, the landlord of Durgapur, who had requested him to establish an ashram there, but retained the money sent by Jagneshwar Vishwas. In later part of their life, Jagneshwar Vishwas and Saraju Devi took sannyasa and renouncing their property, social status, left for Kasi, never to be returned again. Only one article of Jagneshwar Vishwas was published in Arya Darpan. After that, no one knew about his whereabouts. In the meanwhile, Swami Nigamananda was addressed by Umacharan as Thakur. Observing him calling him Thakur, other people also followed him and approached him as Thakur. Yet, Chidananda Maharaj utterance of Thakur was very special. His household name was Chandi Charan Das. He hailed from a well-to-do family of Tulapur district, Srihata. From his childhood, he had an inclination towards religion. He had met many religious persons but was not satisfied. After reading Yogi Guru, he decided to renounce family life and one day slipped away from his house and reached Guwahati in hope of meeting Jagneshwar Vishwas. But he could not find him there. His money was finished by the time he reached Guwahati and had to sell his warm clothes, that is chadar, to meet the cost of further travel. He reached Isansil place, quivering in cold. Isansil invited him to take food and rest, as he had to travel a long distance. Next day, they went to Garo Hill, but by the time they reached Garo Hill, Thakur had already left and they had to return without meeting him. He first met Thakur in the house of Umacharan Sarkar. At the first sight, he knew Thakur was his guru. He fell on the ground and did not rise till Thakur asked him to rise. He was accepted as the personal attendant of Sri Thakura Maharaj and remained so till his last day on the earth beyond. Later, he was given sannyas by Sri Thakur in due course became a great yogi. He was for some time was sent to organize Garo Hill Yoga Ashram and remained for some time as Shanti Ashram of Durgapur. The Shanti Ashram at Durgapur was established by Sri Thakur on the request from the landlord of that area. The landlord, along with his sons, had become disciples of Sri Thakur. Later part, another ashram was also established in Menamati. Many philanthropic works have been done in those areas by Sri Thakur. Those places were closely connected with life of Brahmananda Giri, the previous life of Swami Nigamananda. Chidananda was among those devotees who travelled to Kumbh and or Tirtha Yatra, consisting 8 members, with Sri Thakur Maharaj. Chidananda Maharaj was the publisher of few valuable books written by Sri Thakur. He had also helped in publishing the main magazine titled Arya Darpan. He died at Shillong on 1308, 1961. Sri Thakur went to stay at Durgapur Ashram, and after some days, Umacharan and Hemalata arrived there. Umacharana requested Sri Thakur to allow him to stay there with Hemalata. Sri Thakur, denying him permission, said, "This is ashram. Anybody staying here has to practice strict celibacy. How can you stay here with your wives? Even if you practice celibacy, you can never forget that Hema is your wife." If at all, I'll permit you to stay. Both of you must remain as brother and sister. I don't think it will be possible for you. Umacharan requested him, saying, please try me. I can do anything for you. Still, Sri Thakur did not give him permission to stay. Umacharana stayed there, and Thakur, remembering his contribution, did not say anything to him. Umacharana started practicing yoga and rapidly progressed in the path of yoga. Hemlata took over charge of the kitchen and looked after the distribution of prasad among the devotees. She behaved as if she is the real mother of the devotees. The ashram started pulsating with spiritual activities. One day, Sri Thakur went in a journey to certain holy places accompanied by Hemlata and a few chosen devotees. Umacharana was progressing rapidly in the path of yoga. It is natural that he had encountered hindrance by Mother Nature. Sri Thakur, giving all the keys to Umacharana, had left ashram for the travel. Few notorious non-devotees tried to pollute Umacharana's mind for reasons best known to them. Unfortunately, Umacharana became prey to their mischievous plan. He believed what they had said about Sri Thakur and forgot his own experience with him. He even started doubting his wife's character. He became firm in his belief that the establishment of ashram was possible because of him and his financial contribution. One night, he took all away the valuables such as silver utensils, money, and other materials from ashram and fled away from Durgapur. Sri Thakur was informed about the theft and he returned to ashram, cutting short his visit. On his return, he found Umacharana had taken away all the valuable materials. He became very sad and became worried for Hemlata, thinking what type of anguish he was passing through. Someone informed the police, and within no time, Umacharana was caught and brought to ashram with all the materials he had stolen. The police inspector in charge requested Sri Thakur to express his desire for what punishment ought to be given to Umacharana. Sri Thakur, being seated, looked towards Umacharana and then to police inspector. He could observe the existence of God in both of them. He knew Mother of Universe is teaching him how to maintain his life amidst the chaos of society. This is not Garo Hill. Kadalujaya, this is the amidst of chaos of society. This is not Garo Hill, Kadalujaya, this is Durgapur. Umacharana is not Sitaram or Madan, but Umacharana, the Tahsildar. Thakur knew Umacharana as intelligent and power-hungry fellow. He asked the in charge of police station to free Umacharana and allow him to leave ashram with all the stolen goods. Everybody present there were astonished and thought whether this is a punishment or a reward. Then looking at Hemlata, he said, you can accompany him as he is a husband. Hemlata was crying all through the episode and he was thinking how she would face the extremities because of her husband's deed. Now she became brave and said, no Thakur, I am not going anywhere. I have come here to spend my life with spiritual activities. I will remain here and do just that. Umacharana rejected the proposal to take her with him and left ashram never to return again. Hemlata fainted and fell on the ground in utter humiliation. Hemlata remained in ashram as before but in confused state about her future life. One day, while she was seated near Sri Thakur, Hemlata asked certain important questions. He asked Thakur, is the soul exist in each woman? Sri Thakur said, yes, there is a soul in every woman. Then she said, if my true form is soul, and if I would be established in that thought, can I not go beyond the role of a woman? Sri Thakur said, the moment one denies the state of bondage, one becomes free. But it is difficult for soul with attributes to reach the level of attributeless soul. Reaching that plane, it gives rise to knowledge of non-difference, and beginning of nirvana starts from that point. Hemlata said, in reality, soul exists without any attribute? Thakur replied, yes, the reality of soul is that, but in order to make perform specific roles in this world, the soul accepts different forms like that of a woman and of a man. He further explained it saying, if one analyzes power or electricity, will certainly arrive at a single entity. But the same electricity contains positive charge and negative charge. Be it a man or a woman, they can go beyond the dual entity and reach the level of oneness through spiritual sadhana and can merge into the existence of Radha and Krishna or Shiva and Shakti. But achieving the Paramahansa status is possible through the path of knowledge only. There, one can establish a universality of soul. But before that, duality remains entrenched in the mind of seeker. Hence, for you, the dual status is applicable.